Oh, we're starting. Okay. Hello. So, welcome back. This is our daily reading. Um, and we're going to do Geomancy again today, which I think is also called Ifa. I'm going to look it up again to make sure that I'm even getting that right. But we're going to do that again today because it was really fun to do it yesterday. And I want to keep exploring this. And so, yes, I just saw the colors yellow and purple, just like little lights of it, but yeah, just little speckles of it. But okay, so ancestors, call you in, ask you to guide us. Planet Mercury, I ask you to open up my throat chakra, open it up and balance it out. And we are looking to receive any messages that you would like to deliver to the collective. And we're grateful to just be in your energy and find ways of connection. Oh, that's what I'm missing, because I'm like, why is it so loud? 1 second. Just we're off to a rocky start. That's life. Hold on. All right. Okay. Let's begin again. Alrighty, so hello, welcome back. We are doing our reading. And let's begin. So, like I said, we're getting our messages today. What do we need to know as the collective? Is the collective that I read for? What do we need to know? Messages from the ancestors, messages from the earth. We thank the rocks, we thank our ancestors, we thank the planet, we thank the universe, we thank the goddesses, the gods, the guardians, the angels, the spirit teams, my spirit team. We wake up grateful for being humbled, wake up for the grateful energy of the planets. We're grateful for them as well, and we're ready to speak, we're ready to commune. So and I do it over and over and over again if I could. Okay. And I do it over and over again. It's interesting, okay, because when it first like splashed out, I like saw like a warped star, and then the more that I'm looking at it, I'm also seeing like an infinity sign, a couple infinity signs, and a little bit of a snake. And I have this feeling of wanting to do it again, but this time just like kind of like, you know what I mean, and letting it go out this way. And I'm wondering if I should. I feel like I can. Okay, so give me a minute. Sorry, I know that this is a long start, but sometimes you have to do it over and over and over again if you can. It just felt so good, good. Okay, give me a sec. Okay, so. Oh my God, it's so similar. Okay, yeah. It feels similar. I was like, okay. Also, look at this flower that I found. It was like much bigger and pink when I found it, but it's dried out now. Alrighty, so turn the lights out, baby, not too high. Yeah, there's clusters. There's clusters, there's clusters. There's a migration. But you know what it is? It's interesting because I could see this as an energy of things moving closer together, but I also see it as an energy of the stars moving further apart. Saturn and Venus, Pisces and Scorpio, triple deck, triple head. Migrating like a river away from the compass. And there's this energy of taking your time to decide. In which way you want to move, if you want to move deeper into community or if you want to venture out on your own, if you want to take some and leave the rest. It doesn't all have to resonate, or the entire group doesn't have to resonate, but are you willing to split it up? Because what this also feels like, okay, I think we're getting somewhere now. What this feels like is a new state, like a new order within our planet. Like if we, let's say, the idea of a nation is beginning to fall apart and we're starting to move back into villages, tribes, community living. That's what this energy feels like. And it's kind of like, okay, so this big conglomerate that we once had is now breaking apart. And people are going to begin going off into their little sectors, into their little spaces, their communities, and they're going to form their own, their own little societies. Because this nation head isn't working anymore, because we're realizing we don't all need to function under the same system, and we don't all want to function under the same system. Instead, we work better in smaller communities. So there's this idea of deciding, first of all, what community you would need to be a part of. If your nation, if the country you were living in fell apart today, where would you go? And people started breaking off into different groups, and the groups are based off of different ideals and ways of life. What group are you moving towards? What if you were the one that got to be in charge of, it's free will at this point. It's freedom to decide what kind of groups you want to even exist. So what kind of group, what kind of society do you want to live in? What is your dream world? Because this feels like an opportunity to pursue that. this feels like an opportunity to literally go off and create the society in a smaller sense that you desire. It's not going to be a whole world type of vibe where we're all on the same wave, but there is this understanding that we can all tolerate each of us existing in our own vibrations, our own wavelengths, our own communities. We can all do that as a planet together, but we don't need to live under one system, We do not all need to function under capitalism or socialism. We do not all need to live in a nation or a nation state or off-grid. We can we can make our own decisions. We can create our own communities. And there's some people who are going to go off and be lone wolves, maybe because the type of community that they want to live within has not been offered up in this space yet. This feels like a journey outward. It's interesting because yesterday it was like a spiral in, and I saw things coming closer together, and just things being landed. Like it wasn't so much about movement, active movement, as I see today, where today it feels like things are expanding outward, and there's more space being brought in between these different groups, and like this oneness is being broken up, but in a really good sense, because we're understanding that we are one as a planet, and that's enough. But within, we need smaller groups to take care of each other, to honor each other. We need smaller communities. And that this kind of feels like, if this is a collective reading, this feels like a whole earth being collective reading, because it feels like this is the direction we're moving in as a planet. Getting rid of nations and moving into this energy of smaller societies, smaller communities, tribes, villages, towns. It's funny, me and my sister were talking about, if you could create your own town, what would your town be like? And this is kind of like that energy coming to life. Like, you guys have the opportunity to now, but this is like community living. You have the opportunity to disengage from this system that we've all kind of been working within for the past who knows how many centuries. It's falling apart now. Rome is beginning to fall. And in that aftermath, it doesn't have to be a big scramble for power, because we understand that we're in a very different place now. So you have the ability to now decide how you want your world to work, and find people who share your likeness, who, in terms of perspective, and doesn't need to be completely, totally aligned, but what does a healthy community look like to you? This is really turning the perspective on the individual and making you be responsible for deciding what kind of world you want to live in. We often got to get rid of the responsibility and the accountability of having to answer that question, because we have these politicians and these governments and these corporations taking control, and the ones kind of leading no matter what we want. But we're moving out of that phase, because people power is gaining momentum in a way that is that's like never before, because we're not gaining momentum to create a new system. We're gaining momentum to break the system and create an entirely new way of being, in collaboration with this planet, in collaboration with the higher self, because we're also waking up on a mass level, and on a level that we haven't been aware of for a while now, for centuries, maybe even thousands of years. So this is like a total rebirth, and it's the same energy as the rebirth of a universe, or the birth of a new universe, which is why I think, like, whenever we're doing divination with rocks and with this type of energy, because this was used for in ancient African astrologies, we get grand. It becomes, we begin to tap into these bigger themes on a bigger scale. But yeah, I see this energy of community living coming up, and what is your dream world, And if it's not in the place, because this could also be an energy of like, because, each country is going to break off into these smaller groups, and there might not be a space within for you that feels right for you within that country. No matter how many different groups are created, nothing might align. So this is also the energy of like moving across the world, you know, going out and seeking what finds you, not just settling for what's in your energetic space. If you have to go out alone because you've looked and the communities that are breaking off and beginning to exist in your country or in your geographical area are not working, then you need to move. And it's almost like this is like one of those moments. It's like it kind of feels like Black Friday, where it's one of those like before Black Friday was weird and not a sale at all. But thinking back to like when I was a kid and like there was all of that excitement because it was like a big deal. You would get a big deal or something like that. Like this feels like a big break that the universe is giving everybody. And you can take it and see it as a burden and as a scary thing and as a destructive thing and try and run and hide. Or you can take it as this unbelievable opportunity to literally go into your dream life and ground that as your reality by going and choosing what kind of society you want to live in. Like I almost see like the falling down of borders, and it's like you have this amount of days to go and figure out where you want to be in the world, what kind of community you want to be a part of. And then after those amount of days are over, then we start building. And if you want to go join a new community, then you're going to have to deal with like the rules of that community when it comes to joining and things like that, because you're not like, well, actually, I don't know. Because are you able to move? Well, because it's going to be self-defined by each community. There may be communities where you can just show up. There may be other communities where you're going to have to do paperwork because that's the kind of system that they want to have. But there's like this grace period entering the universal consciousness right now, and especially the earth consciousness. There's like this grace period of going where you want to go, to be where you want to be when it's time to start building again. We're not in the building phase right now. Right now it's like right after things have been destroyed and everything's in the rubble, and now people are starting to figure out, what do we do? We're in the make a plan phase. We're making a plan. And I would really highly suggest that you take this opportunity to go and be with the people that you want to plan with, to go to the area, the piece of land that you would like to be on. And also understanding, though, that it's like this is a total, though, release of pride and a release of your own, it's a release of pride and it's a release of your own biases and entitlement, because while your people may not be where you're at, and so you're going to go venture out to wherever you need to be to receive, to go be in the space that you actually want to be a part of, what actually feels like home, you have to recognize that when you get to those spaces or when you find those people, they may have, there are people who are from those areas who are going to have feelings. And there's things to be honored, there's traditions to be honored. You know, it's just like an ancestor. You know, you're not going to just completely forget your ancestry, completely forget your indigenous roots, completely forget your history because you're starting anew. You know, so there's an honoring that needs to happen, and you need to be able to honor what came before you and honor the things that you don't understand if you're not from this area. This is a really interesting energy, because it totally feels like if the world were to fall apart, but it's a good thing, because ultimately, I mean, it's kind of what we need right now, is it not? And there's this grace period of like, okay, everybody go where you want to go, and then we're going to start building. Yeah. And there's this energy of don't let imposter syndrome, don't let the problems that we gained during this era of life where we were hustling and capitalism and all of these oppressive systems, don't let those things make it so that you don't feel like you're able to move. This is like one of those energies where it's like the inner strength card in this Goddess Guardians God's deck, where it's really important that you don't let yourself be a victim. Because if you do, and if you stay in that state and you feel helpless, you're literally going to miss out on an opportunity of like a lifetime, to be completely honest. This feels like the opportunity of a lifetime, of an age, of, you know, like, we are literally in such an interesting and unique time in human history, because we are going to be both the generation that witnesses the fall of an entire world, an entire system, is there in the in-between phase, and also gets to become a part of beginning and deciding what this new phase looks like. We are the generation that gets to do that. So that's pretty unique and very, very special. Don't sleep on it. Don't let yourself get caught up in feeling like you don't know what to do and you don't know how to decide. You do know. Don't feel powerless. This is not the time to give in to feelings of powerless. Like, just to be completely honest with you, you're gonna regret it, and you're not powerless. So it's totally a victim mindset. And I don't usually like to use that because I'm very sensitive to understanding that things are nuanced. But this is really one of those situations where you need to not, like, don't wait. Don't overthink. This is not the time to overthink. Thank you, Rocks. I want to pull cards now. What a reading. I really suggest making an altar, something dedicated to a planet that you love, or a planet that you really want to connect deeper with, that you need help with. I made a Mercury altar. Oh my, shut the fuck up. What did I say? I said it was the inner strength card in this deck. Cosmic knowledge. Okay, you guys. What's happening? Okay, you guys. I feel that something very significant is about to happen. I feel like that's why this, I don't know, like, you saw how chaotic the beginning of this video was. Basically, the entire first 10 minutes was just a mess. But that's what it is, to have things fall apart. But once you get it, you get it. And once you get it, you better get moving. Once you pick up what's actually happening, go. Don't wait around. Don't look for somebody else to direct you. This is not the time to feel like you need somebody else to tell you what to do. For real, for real. Like, this is not the time. This is not the time. You need to know what you want to do. Yeah, you need to go find your soul family. This is, ooh, not us literally having the opportunity to go find our soul family. Whoa. You guys, like, something for real is happening right now. Something's happening in the cosmos, and it's past life healing. Past life healing, there's always enough. Something is happening. Okay, hold on, because I need to just, I'm like trying to focus, but I'm also like, this is a big deal. This is a very big deal. Shit. If stuff starts to fall apart, you guys, you can be afraid if you want to, but I really wouldn't be too afraid, because fear is just going to sit there and make you feel like there's nothing you can do, and like, oh my God, and you don't have time to be taken over by fear. This is like, it's not like a rush, but it kind of is. It's like, it is kind of like the great scramble, you know? Figure out where you want to be. Start thinking about it now, before things fall apart, because I'm telling you right now that things are going to fall apart. Now I need to start thinking about where things are. It's so hard to take these messages. Like, I take them so seriously, or else I wouldn't deliver them. But it's so hard to like understand fully, because I'm still human, and I'm just like, oh, like, what's going on? I'm just reading cards. But no, I am sensing something here. I'm sensing something here. Like, there's a shift. I know we always talk about a shift, but for real, there's a shift happening. And it's like there's a gateway opening. Yes, believe in yourself. Okay. There's like a gateway opening. There's a portal opening. There's whatever you believe in, a vortex, a black hole, I don't know. Something's opening. And there's an opportunity because things are about to fall apart. Tower moment, for real, for real. Things are going to fall apart. And countries, like it's giving like nations are falling apart. Countries are falling apart. And there's an opportunity, and like you're not, like if you were Canadian before, there is no Canada. So now what are you? Decide. Figure it out. It's giving that type of energy. Where do you want to be? Go and see if they'll take you. I mean, but go with humility. Be humble, but go. Don't sit there being like, can I, should I? Just go. It's that energy of like, move. It's time to move. Go, go, go. That's the energy of spirit right now. What is happening? There's a shift happening, like something is opening up. There's something happening in the cosmos. Something is being aligned. Maybe this is what Saturn and Pisces is also bringing in. I mentioned Saturn, Pisces, Venus, and Scorpio, didn't I? Scorpio energy, transformation. Venus energy, relationships, love, self-love, luxury, care, how you care for yourself, how you care for others, believing in yourself. Like this is giving me Venus. And then sacred marriage is right behind that. And unions, Venus energy, soul family, that's giving me Venus energy. Pisces, chakra healing, divine messages, you are the healer, cosmic knowledge. And Saturn, inner strength, stand your ground, believe in yourself, still, again, all of that. It's, you guys, like, okay, so let's repeat the message that we know so far. The Chariot, go, move. And it is kind of like an overnight energy. It happens, and then once it happens, it's kind of like, okay, all bets are off. Where do you want to be? What do you want? I feel like that's why for so many years now, it's just been spirit being like, figure out what you want, figure out what you want, figure out what you want. And then you figure out what you want, and you're like, Spirit, this is what I want. You tell them, and then nothing happens, and you're like, okay, so why did you ask me what I want? Because you have the opportunity to go get it now. All of this Queen of Swords energy, Queen energy. It's like in your hands now. Oh my God, this is like, what is this? So, okay, so let's reiterate the message so far. So, if you are in a country or a nation, it falls apart. Across the world, nations falling apart. The idea of a nation, the idea of a country falling apart. Any big conglomerate falling apart. Corporations falling apart. Now, what is happening with the world? Nobody knows. It's just this open space. It's just whatever you want it to be. So then there's this idea of all these communities are beginning to form. People are deciding what they want. What do you want? Where do you want to go? If it's not in your country, you're going to need to travel and go to wherever you want to be. If it's not where you are right now, don't sit here and think it's going to show up for you. It's not. You need to go towards it. You need to make the migration. But this is like a big deal. And there's this energy of not waiting around. And if you can now, really connect with the planets, because they are going to be able to help you understand what's happening right now. This is the time to really honor yourself, make an altar, connect with the spiritual, because you need to know where is it best for you to be. Maybe even looking at astrocartography and looking at what place in the world is it best for you to be. For me, I know where I've been told about. But there's this energy. This is super interesting. I don't know, you guys. I think that I think this whole apocalypse thing I mean, the apocalypse has been started, but I think we're really close to something pretty significant. Like it's like right around the corner. And I feel like once it happens, it's not a slow burn, it's quick, it's overnight. And suddenly the world is, it's the world that we know it is gone. It's like COVID. Like when that happened, it was like, and the world has never been the same, and it will never be the same. But this is like that times like 10 trillion, because it's society as we know it falling apart. So what are the cosmos like? I need to look into the astrology, because what the hell is going on? And this is really why it's important for you to begin to reconnect with your ancestors and figure out what divination tools speak to you, because that message did not come from the oracle cards. That message came from the rocks. I got that message through looking at those rocks, through doing geomancy, not from these cards. These cards I'm looking at now because I just want to see what's going on in this way. But that message came from those rocks. And those rocks are connected to a practice that my ancestors have done. I don't know if my ancestors did oracle readings and tarot readings, but they did do rock divination, Ifa, or geomancy. And I look at the message that I got from that. Like, that's intense. And it's not to say that I wouldn't have gotten that with these cards, but I got it from those rocks. And yesterday's reading was also about soul family. There's this, yes, like soul family is at the center of it all. It's like this, it's like the universe is creating this opening because they're like, okay, it's time. Like Avengers Assemble, like it's that energy. So they're like, okay, you can go where you need to go. Go wherever you want to go, because your people are going to meet you at the same place. There's this quote, and I think it's like, soulmates eventually have to find each other because they have the same hiding spot. And it's that kind of energy. It's such a cute quote, but it's that kind of energy where like literally you're going to go to the same place, but only if you're aligned with what you actually desire. Are you doing what you actually want to do? Because if you are, yeah, it's like it's literally like you wake up and the world has literally fallen apart. But it's beautiful. It's a really good thing. It's liberating. It's like ecstasy. It feels like a dream. And it kind of is, because you're literally in this position now where you're able to ground your dream life into reality, like for real, and actually be in alignment with everybody else, because everybody has the same opportunity. The playing field it's leveled out. I even feel like for travel, like it's not going to be a thing where like only some people get to travel because only some people have access to airlines. Like I think there's a way for everyone to go where they need to go. I think there's a way to make it work for everybody. But you have to really have faith, and you have to not be a victim. Don't be a victim. This is not the time to feel like, oh, I need help. Oh, I don't know what to do. If you need help from anything, call on your ancestors and things like that. But don't sit here waiting for some system to come support you through this. This is not that. The system that's coming to support you is your own spirit. That's what's going to help you. But for real, it's time to tap into your power. Because this is serious energy that I'm like struggling to even like, what? I would keep thinking about it, but for real, the birth of a new world. Whoa. Night and day. It's literally like night and day. It feels like it's literally overnight. Look at all of these ace, 10, 10, 6 of swords, moving on, the moon. Like this is, I don't know what's going on. I mean, I got a hint and I'm about to take it. Y'all, for real, start thinking about where you actually want to be. And don't, like, there is no more idea of success. There's no more, oh, but what about this way of living? And I got to make my parents, like, none of that matters anymore. when I tell you this is like the apocalypse, like the world has fallen apart, like nothing matters anymore, like it's really up to you, it's one of those. It's that energy. Everybody's asking for their big break. This is it. The universe is like, all y'all want a big shift? All y'all want a big break? Okay, here it is. Everybody gets it. So nobody can come to me and be like, oh, but they got more than me. No, we all have the same access. What do you do now? Are you going to be a punk and let fear take away this literally divine opportunity, or are you going to do something with it? Like, for real. This is crazy. I'm like, part of me is like, do I pull another card or do I just go and reach for more rocks? And I think I'm going to get more rocks. Okay. This is the last part of this reading. I feel like the reading is over. It's like, said what needed to be said. Yeah, it's this energy of go, move, go, hurry. Don't wait around. And the thing is that there are going to be a lot of people that just stay where they're at and try and make it work where they're at. The universe is telling you right now, don't think small. You don't have to stay where you're at. You can literally go anywhere. Like, for real, for real. And you don't need to bring anyone. If your whole family is like, I want to stay here, we need to see what's happening here. Not to be that person, but leave them behind. For real. Like, for real, for real. You can find them later. I would leave them behind. I'm not going to lie to you. Because this feels like one of those energies where if you don't do what your spirit is telling you to do, you will regret it for the rest of your life. Like, the rest of your life. This is not one of those situations where you wait for other people to direct you and you stay in the group because the group is safe and everybody knows each other. Like, go where your spirit's telling you to go. Just go. Just figure it out. Don't let yourself be a victim of other people's fears and your own fears and these, I don't know, old ways, the old world. This is not the time. You can be scared and you can grieve after you've already left, while you're on the journey. But in that moment, when you have to make the decision to go, go. Don't wait, don't linger, don't shuffle your cards and ask. It will be very clear where you need to go. The only thing you'll be looking for is confirmation, and the confirmation is the feeling within your gut. Like, for real. Okay. Damn. Quick as can be. Okay, that's it for the message. I'll let you know if I hear anything else. Good luck. I'll see y'all wherever I am gonna end up, and yeah. Bye.